Hello and welcome to Boss Rush Island 4 with 90 pops. I like to play Sauda right above that little blue rock thingy, and then I always tech box Sauda. Especially on this island I recommend it because it's really hard to keep up with it. And I like to move down the ability panel for a certain druid placement. But anyways, start off with Sauda and a 2-2-0 Desperado on strong. We're going to be leaking some lives in the early game, but it's actually beneficial for us to do this, so do not worry about it at all. Upgrade to Big Iron as soon as you pop that first skull, and then we're going to be placing down a 0-1-0 Druid Monkey after the second skull. This guy's going to be able to handle our pops for a little bit, just make sure we don't leak too many lives. If you want to, you can put it on last targeting, but it would kind of be annoying for later because you'd have to take it off last. So just leave it on first, it'll be fine. Get up another 2-2-0 Desperado Monkey, and after you get that fourth pop, make it a Big Iron. And again, make sure it's on strong. Every Desperado we place for the early game is going to be on strong. Again, 2-2-0. This is the third and final one we're going to be going for in a row here. And now we want to get down the Heart of Oak and Druid of the Jungle as soon as we possibly can on first targeting, and upgrade to Hard Thorns. Here, in order to take down the Bloonarius insides, we're going to get down a 2-2-0 Ice Monkey, and then as we pop Bloonarius, we're going to upgrade it to a 3-2-0. You have a pretty big window of time here, and the RNG is not horrible. In my 10 boss rush attempts here, I did die once, but that was just really unlucky and bad timing, so you should be fine. Get down a fourth Desperado, place it a little bit lower than I placed it. This placement is not entirely ideal, however it's okay if you do this. I still got to 90 pops, it just makes a couple of rounds a little bit more scary. So yeah, as soon as you can afterwards, get down an Embrittlement Ice Monkey, 4-2-0 of course. It really should be 4-2-0 because you needed that 3-2-0 earlier. But now we're going to be saving up for the Twin Sixes upgrade on our Desperado. If this video has helped you out so far, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and use code YOBOI, that's YOBOI, in the BTD6 store whenever you're buying Monkey Knowledge or Double Cash Mode or whatever you want. Get down a second Druid of the Jungle, that is a 1-3-0, and up next we go for a third one. This one is mostly for safety. You could greed through it and not get it, but it's really fine to do. You're going to have plenty of money here, so don't worry about it. Get down a 1-2-0 iBuy, or no, not a 1-2-0, very sorry. Get down a 0-2-1 and then a 0-3-1 afterwards. This guy's going to be helping out with damage and is very useful for cleanup later. Set it to close targeting when you remember to, and then here you're going to want to get up a 0-3-1 engineer just to deal with camo balloons. It is kind of optional, however, it just makes more consistency if you have less lives than you really need it now, but whatever. Once you hit about $7,000, sell your embrittlement, 3 Desperados, and buy up the 5th tier Desperado Monkey, the Blazing Sun, 5-2-0 of course on strong. And now we're going to go for a Jungle's Bounty, and you're going to see here 30 pops. This isn't fully needed, but it is recommended just to use your tier 4 Druid ability in order to take out those fortified ceramics a little bit easier. Go for a second Desperado Monkey right next to the first one. It's going to be a 4-2-0 on strong. This guy's going to help out some. And now to deal with camos, get a Deadeye, camo targeting, and top crosspath. You also want to make sure your Wizard Monkey can see camo balloons, and this is both going to just prevent leaks. It is a little bit overkill, but again, it's really easy to get 90 pops and really hard to go above 90, so I think it's worth spending a little bit of extra money. Here at the 39th pop, you can sell your 2 Druid Monkeys in exchange for the tier 5 Druid, Spirit of the Forest, and that's going to be able to clean up the insides of Bloonarius for a long while. You won't have to worry about it anymore, and it'll also handle camo balloons, so you can take your Desperado, put it on strong, and no longer target camo. And once your Wizard Monkey clears out all the Moabs, you'll see that, there was a bunch of Moabs coming down, but there's not anymore because Wizard killed it all. So you can sell the Wizard if you want, or we left it a little bit extra. But yeah, once you get about $15,000, you can afford the Golden Justice by selling your Wizard and 2 Desperados, and you're just going to want to use the range ability on it. I had used it earlier on accident, but don't worry about it, you should be fine either way. Just use the range ability when you can so that it can see Bloonarius a little bit earlier and get those juicy crits, and get up an Overclock Engineer so that you can boost its damage by 66%. And now we're going to buff it with a stronger stimulant, 401, so that we can boost its damage even more. It gives like a 16% attack speed boost, so that's why we're using it. I know usually you see an Alchemist and it gives +1 damage, which is not going to do a lot when Desperado deals 6,000 damage, but the attack speed is nice too. Make sure not to use the Overclock a second time on the Desperado Monkey, because we're going to want to use it on the Mad as we use its ability. The Mad, of course, is extremely powerful, so once you can, make sure I misclicked there, but overclock the Mad as tier 4, and then you sell the Desperado and use the ability here, and just target it at Bloonarius. Afterwards, I get down a 2-4-0 Desperado Monkey on Strong, and then you're going to want to, as quickly as possible, get down a bottom path tier 5 Bomb Shooter, who is going to be able to deal with round 40, or not round 40, round 70, when a bunch of fortified DDTs spawn out of Bloonarius. And look, there's some other ways you can do it. You can actually pop it, and it is better for your run, but that would require like actual skill and timing, versus just allowing them to go through is very simple and easy. So that's what we're going to do. Not the most elegant solution, but it works, so that's what matters. Anyways, after this round 70 is up, we can get back the Golden Justice, and we can sell our Bomb Blitz as we do not need it anymore, and even if we did need it, it would not be useful enough. So get a second overclock, because we want to be overclocking both the Mad and the Golden Justice. You'll see here that for the Mad ability, I do wait sometimes, and that is of course so that instead of getting a Mad ability, we get the overclocked Mad ability, which is much more powerful, 66% better to be precise. And then we're just going to go for Plasma Accelerator here. It's going to build to a Ray of Doom. It doesn't really deal damage here, so you can build it as slow as you want, but once you get another $35,000, you can sell the Desperado Monkey in exchange for the Ray of Doom. There we go, finally sold it. And you can see here the Alchemist is not touching the Mad, which is not ideal, so we're just going to move the Alchemist down so that it's hitting the Mad. Again, 16% attack speed, pretty big difference. So yeah, overclock the Mad, then use the ability. And here I demonstrate that you can defeat round 80 with all the mistakes I've made, yes, but also with both the overclocks on the tier 5 Dartlings not being up. So we get a Shimmer Wizard in the top right hand corner, that's just for later. But here round 80, super scary, bunch of ZLMGs, and my Dartling Gunners do not have an overclock on them right now, but as you see, it actually works out just fine. They're able to take it down super easily. I would still recommend you have the overclock timed out right, but you will be fine either way, trust me. Again, we're using the Mad ability, overclock, you get the deal. Just make sure you don't overclock the same thing twice, as that would not be helpful. And you saw I got the Icicle Impale 025 in the top right, cross area, and that is just to deal with the DDTs that come out in the 80s. I think it's around 87 and 88. We just get a bunch of DDTs, and we want to not die to them. I get up at Blazing Sun on Strong is a 520, because that deals a lot more boss damage, and it is going to be able to help out, just destroy Bloonarius a little bit faster. And then here, the final thing we'll be getting is a 052 Moab Mauler, Moab Assassin, Moab Eliminator, and using its ability is going to help out to get the last couple of pops here. I did a couple of things not entirely optimal, so maybe it's possible to get 91, but you'd really have to be very sweaty and just, it wouldn't be fun to try to get over 90 pops because you have to kill like 3 bads, maybe it's 2 bads, but it's just, no one wants to do that. If this guide helped you out, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, comment below what your score is, if you get stuck anywhere, if you have any tips, whatever you want. Yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.